First of all, the former president, Donald Trump, is at it again, launching into a crazy, unhinged online rant targeting the FBI, demanding he be immediately installed as president while trying to rally support from his supporters over the false claim of, quote, criminal election interference. This comes as a new poll shows a majority of his supporters believe the U.S. is headed toward a civil war. President Biden, meanwhile, is expected to address the threat of political violence head on as he hits the road today. The White House says the president will call out the far right for its dangerous rhetoric and challenge the Republican claim that it is the party of law and order. We're also following major developments out of Ukraine, where officials in Kyiv say Russian forces are in retreat as Ukraine launches a counteroffensive in the south. President Zelensky says, quote, we will chase them to the border. Major news out of Ukraine, and we'll get to that in just a moment.
It really is something, and you look at the poll numbers. First of all, fascinating that as Joe Biden's poll numbers go up, Willie, as Democrats seem to be doing far better in the midterm elections than expected. The same group of people, and Donald Trump, Lindsey Graham, those type of people, who challenged the 2020 election, or with Lindsey went back and forth. They're now talking about violence in the streets. If Donald Trump is held to the same legal standard as everybody else. I mean, fact is, for a very long time, he's been held to a lower legal standard. He's being held to a lower legal standard right now. If Lindsey Graham did half of what Donald Trump did with these government documents, he would already be in jail. Any member of Congress would be in jail if they'd already done this. So actually, we're already holding Donald Trump to a lower standard than we hold members of Congress, other elected officials, to former directors of the CIA, former national security advisors. We're already doing that. But now that things don't seem like they're breaking Trumpists' way, now we actually have a majority of Trumpists believing a civil war is coming because what? They don't like student loan relief. They're afraid of Jewish space lasers. They're really stupid enough to believe that the Italian guy rigged the election. They think there's bamboo in ballots. Really, what is the reason they want to go to civil war? They own the Supreme Court, right? They live in their own news cycle. They've got permissive laws on guns. They've got the most restrictive laws on abortion they've had in 50 years. They have got the most expansive laws that they've had on religious freedoms in over 50 years. It is hard to imagine what cultural war they're not winning.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the stakes have been raised with rhetoric, and that's what this is. You talked about that media bubble, that media ecosystem. After the FBI executed a lawful search warrant on Mar-a-Lago a few weeks ago, that night on TV, on the most watched programs, on the most listened to podcasts and radio shows, there was talk of war. This is war. This is what we've been warning you about all along. The deep state is coming for you. The FBI is against us. The Justice Department is against us. Biden is unleashing. Everything we thought to be true is happening. Of course, as I said, they were executing a lawful search warrant on a president and an administration that took a bunch of classified documents casually to a country club in Florida. But that's why you hear talk of civil war, because people are using that language. They're saying these are the stakes. This is war. We've got to fight back.